switches, by the way. We have my... Why the fuck weren't you plugged in, you bitch? What the fuck? What? What? Cletus! Cletus, what? Why aren't you plugged in? Oh, that's right. That's right, because you have to unplug the freaking... Cletus, what do you mean you have to unplug the Nintendo Switch? Fucking Christ. What do you mean I have to plug in the charging cable into the Nintendo Switch just so I can then charge, Cletus? What the hell? What the hell, Cletus? What the hell, Cletus? What the hell, Cletus? This thing actually turned my headset though. Holy shit, that thing charged them quick. I gotta use that more often. Cletus, you need to talk about something. We need to talk about something, Cletus. Oh god. So we have two streams going on at the same time. We have my Twitch and then we have my YouTube because we just got both. Hey Adrian, what's good? What's good, Adrian? So here's the plan. We need to actually get both my stream shit in. I think my other phone dead. Yeah, my phone dead. Let me just plug that shit in. Yeah. So we're actually gonna show a tour of the theme park. If you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, me, Famous Builder, and a few other people have been working on a theme park. Believe it or not, we have been working on this theme park for like a while now. And I want to show you guys it, because I already showed before. Oh, so hello Twitch chat. Hi Twitch chat, how are you? Alright, there we go. I'm live on Twitch and on YouTube. So, depending on which one goes down first, it depends on which one happens after, because yeehaw, partner. Alright. So here's the plan. So I'm actually gonna be switching back and forth. I need to actually figure out a way. I miss the old Twitch. I miss the old Twitch app thing where you could see the text on screen. I don't know how to do that. I don't think I can do that because that's not how most systems work. Unless there is a way to do that, because I really missed it. So here's the design. So we have ourselves our, I'm using my very southern accent because it's funny. So for the first half, we have Main Street Square. And we have ourselves some buildings, which might become shops eventually. We have some pretty fancy looking shops, pretty nice looking places. Pretty simple, actually. You have your little Main Street, pretty cool looking. And then we have a restaurant, which this building is. This is the building. This is a restaurant called the Western Saloon, which would be eventually based on a location for the park. Then we have gifts. Then we have Riffs. We have Riffs, Gifts, and Go. And it's actually just a gift shop. This is just going to be a massive gift shop. And then you have, like, your one way in, one way out, and you could have your other way into the shop, which will be destruction, because you want to have a lot of mobility. Totally not making this as a horror map. Totally not. Yeah. And then after that, we have the kids. We have the carnival zone. And I'm gonna check chat everyone so because I can't really read both. Can't really read both of them. My bad. This is the carnival zone. You have your little simple games, some little shrubbery, and we have two roller coasters. The Cheese Maze Initiative, the Cheese Maze, which is just like a very pretty simple roller coaster, something that ain't too complicated. And then we have the Wood Knot, which is just a giant mess. I don't know what I was doing when I built this thing. I just kind of built it. So yeah, the Wood Knot, pretty big, pretty simple, and it's actually, this whole gimmick is just meant to be a big roller coaster. This is kind of supposed to be cool looking, so we're actually going to go then. Then we have the Big Tent gift shop, which is just a big old tent. In when you're on the ground, it doesn't look very big. It looks big, but when you're up here, it looks small. That's the back of the shop. That's my save build for when I need to make more lamps. And yeah, that's basically it. Also, we have the Big Cheese Theater, and then we have another tiny gift shop because why not? It's part of the theme park, I guess. Me and Famous have been working on this for a while now, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Next, we're gonna go to the second location of the park. Now, I could use there since as an opening, but I want to show you the tunnel. So when you go through, you get an ice boat. Normally, you just get an ice boat, but I'm gonna fly because I built this thing. And yes, this is blocked off, so you can't just walk through here, obviously. And you go through an ice boat, since that's a fast travel. And now we are in Roller Coaster Alley. And this is what me and Famous did last night, and what nearly crashed the server 4 times over. Me and Famous nearly destroyed the server by spamming minecarts and bad commands. So we actually have 2 roller coasters here. Like I said, it's a theme park, so roller coasters are kind of a thing. We have the Red Knot, we have the Red Looper, and then we have the Mad Mulligan's Mine, and we have the Mad Mulligan's Mine Train. And but this one was designed by me. This was designed by Famous. I think you can tell who's better at designing roller coasters. Yeah, so the whole gimmick of this build is it's meant to just be an indoor roller coaster area with some cool looking water fountains coming out of the water. Yeah, it's not very complicated. Look, I just kind of want to design a really cool theme park. I haven't designed a theme park in years, by the way. So when I had the idea to just want to build one, I just kind of went with it and didn't think twice about it. The idea for it was just build a cool, fun-looking place. Because Rifco's map is all about story and lore and chaos and battle and it's about all of that, okay? And here's the thing, I didn't want to do that for this location. I want to make a fun theme park. That's what I want to do. I want to build a fun-looking theme park where things just are fun and unique. And everything can just be taken lightly. That's all I really wanted to create. So in return, I just kind of asked my friend Famous who wanted to build some roller coasters. And this is what we came up with. Yeah, that's literally all this is. I'm just been building this for like... If you're wondering why I haven't uploaded any Rifco episodes lately, that's why. I've just been trying to work on adding road building to my map. Also, if you look, all these water geysers coming up are just big old water fountains, believe it or not. I actually did not plan this bit whatsoever. I'm going to read chat. Where's the Tunnel of Love? Lore of my dead have. Okay, I'm reading chat from Adrian. Where is the Tunnel of Love? So the plan for that is we are gonna build more. This isn't the end of the park. We just started. Like, the whole idea is that it's gonna be like Disney World, where it's gonna have specifically differently themed areas. And because of that, I'm kind of wanting to specifically go on themings to be really well done. Like, I want to make each theme feel like the theme itself works, rather than it just being a, just a random build. Because, like, here's the thing. I have seen theme parks where it's just 5 roller coasters and a water ride. And it's like, it looks cool, but I don't want to just make it a theme park. I want to give it that, I don't know. I want to give it that overly, like, lively feeling. Like, the park itself has a bit of, like, care and and you get what I'm saying. The whole point being, it's not easy. I'm still figuring out like all the bits in the park. I'm not even sure how far I'm gonna go with this concept, but I don't want to give up in the beginning. I want to give this concept like a legitimate like world building, because Rifco isn't just like dark, gritty future with Rift technology. It's a world that's constantly like living, breathing, constantly alive. And that's kind of like the idea I want to go with. And what's a fun world without a theme park, right? I mean, that's where I'm kind of going with all of these kinds of updates. But yeah, we're gonna Tunnel of Love eventually. Eventually, there will be a Tunnel of Love, but for now, we don't have any plans yet due to just slight build upgrades. Like for now, I think this is a pretty decent start. Like if you look at it from here. So let me actually then, we should probably bar off this entire bit so no one just walks into the water. I mean, there is no rules against the HOA, but who gives a damn? So, yeah, this is basically just a lot of the bigger parts. So this is the thing Famous made. I tried to make the line queue kind of match with the whole ride. So, one second. Minecart. Alright. This is Famous's ride, with the lights off, by the way. We had to... Oh, god dang it. God dang it, the creepers are still on the ride. I forgot that. Why are there no creepers here? Hold on, wait. Oh, I went up the wrong side. Like, I could have downloaded a map. Like, I could have told... God dang it! That's... Why do there creepers? Why are there just random creepers, bro? What the heck? I swear to God, Famous. God dang it, Famous. Alright, so this is Famous's build. I kinda like it. You got like a little loop like build. I like this. This is a cool roller coaster. I'm not sure how this physics work. Famous knows every physics about Minecraft, like, minecarts for some reason. Oh. Make it, yeah, it works! Like, legitimately, this is cool. Oh, you be fucking me. Alright, whatever, we're not finishing the ride. Basically, you'd go through here... Yeah, there's not much left to ride anyway. Where's he gonna have to go? Yeah, there we go. Close enough. Yeah, that's Famous's ride. And this is Famous's ride, which I love. It looks sick. I love it! I love it, I love it, I love it. It's cool looking. I'm thinking of adding some, like, details eventually to this, but I'm not sure yet. And then we have Mad Mulligan's Mine Train, which is actually another design by Famous. Alright, I got to do it like this. And then I go to here. And then the line takes you out this direction. Screw that pole. Definitely not for safety purposes. Pointless line queue. Whatever. Screw it. I don't care. And then you basically go through this queue. Pretty simple queue. And then this is where the cool bit begins. So we need a minecart again. Right. Hear me out. God dang it. Why? I am legitimately having ride issues now. Alright, there. Now this is where the ride gets in. This ride is very interesting. Because instead of just starting off with like a standard ride, you're starting off with suspense. Also, if you noticed it on the roof, there's like a big long track. That could be an AFK. That's our AFK machine also. This is literally the whole ride, by the way. And maybe when I go, what's the rest of the ride? Don't worry about it. And then, I think this actually, God damn, I think the momentum bit is broken. One sec. I actually know exactly how to fix this issue. I'm just gonna add another 2 power rails here. There we go. Alright, that should fix it. That should fix it. I have no clue why it wasn't working. Normally when it does, it doesn't just stalemate. But whatever. Alright, let's see if this works. I am legitimately hoping this thing actually works this time. It just needs one more push. I think this is the last push we need. No clue that minecart went. Let's try that again. Yeah, let's go. I got it. Yeah, I got it. I got it working. I got it working. Let's go. Hell yeah. Okay, hell yeah. I got it all working. I got it! Oh, you have no clue how happy I am that I got this to actually work. Shit. Mmm. Oh, 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 oh. That was not part of the plan. That was not part of the plan. Oh shit. That was not part of it. That was the full ride. Dude, that's roller coaster rally. Uh, lily pads maybe? Like big, not Minecraft ones, but made out of block. Oh, maybe. The way this theming is meant to be is it's meant to feel like the action packed this is a good one. These are two good ones, but here's the idea. I need to like I was so my original idea was that there would be lookout points around this area. So like maybe around here. So like here, here, and then that would connect to there. The idea was that there would be these okay, we're actually have to remove this water fountain spot here actually, son. Looks I actually like my water fountain spots. Like my thought was like there would be like photo op areas. So like 1 second. Here. So like you could have like a one block platform that goes like this. So it goes over the water so that you can get like some good photo op areas. So because eventually I am going to release this map to the public eventually. When it's all done, this map might not be done for another like long time, believe it or not. Mm. I like I like my theme park token. Yeah. So the idea is okay. Is Minecraft not showing for you all? Hold on. Is it not freaking showing? Okay, chat. Is it okay? So now it is showing. All right. Okay, that's weird. That's freaking weird. So the idea concept is that like Rifco isn't just a world of science and creativity and all that. It's also a land of dreams. So like that's like the idea I'm going for. Like with this concept for a park. So I want to make like the fun park be like the more unrealistic, dreamy aspects. And yes, we are going to build a Cinderella's castle eventually. And that will be the Tunnel of Love. The Tunnel of Love will be a ride through a dreamy castle because we gotta make a boring ride. Because eventually we gotta make a boring ride, and I don't want to do that. Like the idea is, I want to make each part of this park to have like its own atmosphere. That's kind of the gimmick I'm going for. Like, is it perfect? Does this feel like a real park? No, it doesn't. It looks and feels and sounds like a scam because it probably is gonna steal your money. So like my idea is that like there will be a photo op area so you can see the person writing here, and then if you go to here you can see him in this area. Then we have some like little gift ships. It's not a public build now, right? Right now? No. Only a few builders. Okay. Sorry about that. The game is now Twitch. Alright, I swear to God. The game is being weird. So to explain it, I am having some difficulty issues. Give me a sec. VSync on off. One sec. My Streamlabs is being weird. Give me a sec. Oh, I'm checking my YouTube chat as well, so that's... Oh. Oh. Oh, I see why. My game capture on, remove that shit. I found out why. For some reason, it linked to my, to OBS. That sucks. So what happened is, all right, Chad. Now we're back. So no, the map isn't public yet because we still have a lot of things to add. Like we're still adding a lot of like the big lore stuff because I don't just want to upload the map with nothing to it. Because here's the thing, we're still working on the map. Like this area is just a giant concrete brick of a structure with a bunch of rides. And the idea is I want to eventually like fill like these areas with a lot of details. Like what I'm thinking for this is like the Mad Mulligan's mine could have like I'm still working on detail. This is only built yesterday. Like a lot of builds are still like there's a theme park I'm trying because I used to build theme parks on Minecraft for fun. So I have that aspiration to build this chaotic design of a park, and I don't know. Will it be weird? Is it a little bit weird? I want to build a theme park out of nowhere. Yes. But is it something I like doing? The answer is also yes. So no, it's not to the public yet. I mean, eventually it will. I'm not saying it will never be in the public. Eventually it will be in the public for people to like explore the map and all that, but at the same time I'm still figuring out things to add to it. Like a lot of the builds in the corners, like this thing feels bare. Like this is a roller coaster, but this one needs to have theming and I'm still doing that theming. So yeah, I think kind of the whole gimmick. I mean, I can show some of the other bits of the park that are unfinished. So there is one part of the park that I want to really start working on this stream. So you might notice that we have, I said 3 themes have been added. We have Roller Coaster Alley. Yes, I spell alley wrong. Bug off. And I have whatever fucking. And then we have the Carnival Land, and then we have Carnival Land, which is right here, or Silly Land, depending on what you want to call it. But that's not the main attraction. This is the main attraction. That's the main attraction. But the last main attraction is that direction. So let's go to it. I legitimately showed this, I think, a while back, but we're gonna actually put like a secret chest out here. One second. Chest. And we're gonna put that another garbage chest. I have a lot of these lying around the park, by the way. So if you ever find them, don't worry. They're not lore based. They're just garbage. I just didn't need any part of. So I just kind of chucked everything in here. There we go. And then we just need to do that. And then this. And then there. There we go. Perfect. So here's the coolest part about the build. Also, I just realized I am... Oh, my stomach. That kind of hurts. So you might notice that leading this direction is these cool laser beams. It's sci-fi magic. Oh no. You could make a panel in this side with white letters, letting. Oh, by the way, it's I think my last build theme park. It's it. Oh no, your theme park area is still there. We can add that bit. We can copy and paste that. No, we can copy and paste that here too. We can put that somewhere as like a little Easter egg. I'll be right back. I need to use the restroom real quickly. I need to be the restroom, Jay. All right, Chad, I'm back. I'm back, shit. I'm back. I'm back. Oh God. Oh, I'm going southern there. Yo, what I miss? Cheap? No. No, 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 no. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you. You know what this means, right, buddy? Buddy. Hey, hey, hey. No. No, we are not doing that on my stream. We're possibly possible ban evader. Yeah, it is a possible ban evader. Hey, hey, hey. Do me a favor. Got a message? Okay, cool, cool, buddy. But do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna suspicious user active monitoring stay able to publicly post in your chat. Yep, restrict. You have been restricted, sir, and you are now being banned from my chat. Get blocked, idiot. Get blocked, idiot. No, no ban evading. No ban evading in my chat, you dip. No. No ban evading. You can't do that. No ban evading. Stop it. Stop ban evading in my chat. Stop ban evading. Don't ban evade, you assholes. I got a Mojang reward or some shit. I don't know what this is. I don't know anything about that. I don't trust it. Don't know anything about that. I don't trust it. No, get that out of here. Okay. Yeah, we still have your thing on the map. I don't delete anything. So here's the cool thing. So you might notice that throughout this, back to what I was saying before we had the Banovator in my chat. Jesus Christ. Guys, don't advertise, pay for previews. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't stop doing that. It's stupid. It's not worth it. And I'm banning you because I don't want people getting scammed. Don't do that. So you go on this trail, right? And you have like, oh, look at all those cool lasers and right? And you think, oh, so then you go down here. Obviously, you take your boat. You go down here. And now you're in this futuristic laser beam land, I guess. Yes, we have a chicken. We're going to have to block this wall off. The plan is we're going to have, like, audio cues for this. You go all the way up to here, right? You go up to here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. New ice boat track. And then... famous, why do you build it like this? And then you go through it. And now you're in the future lane. Oh, shit. And now, this is where I feel like we should have, like, a chain. So that, like, when you boat, you can, like, stop right about here. Yeah, I'm going to put a chain there. I'm going to just raise the block there because it needs to stop there. And this is Futureland. Now, it's not based on the future, based on the glowing lights in Serene City. No. This Futureland is based on the frozen future. A future where things go horribly wrong. Where things are cold and frozen. Where things are chilly. Yeah, that's literally the whole gimmick. It's just in a post-apocalyptic future land. And so the idea is that I wanted to design a post-apocalyptic future land. Something that no theme park would ever do. No theme park would ever build a post-apocalyptic future land. Because why would you? Why would you? That's dark. It's sad. You don't want that. Well, I don't give a damn. I'm doing it anyway. So the gimmick for here is that we're going to turn this land here into the post-apocalyptic future land. Oh, so we're going to fly there because I am not taking the boat twice. And the whole gimmick is this will become the Islands of Adventure area. The first official big upgrade to the park. This will be where the biggest visual upgrade will happen. And my plan starts with designing everything to kind of blend into nature a bit. Kind of like I did with Spawn. Like, I'm not going to build anything yet, though. That's, like, the thing. Nothing's being built yet. I'm just going to build platforms, and then we can figure out what goes here next. I need my axe again so I can make the walls. This is what I do. When I am not streaming, like, playing, like, Repo and stuff, this is what I'm doing. / walls hand. This is what I do when I'm not streaming Repo or just being like dipshit friends half the time. I'm doing this. I don't care about like, oh, but you should be uploading YouTube videos. What about the YouTube channel Kevin Does Things? Look, I love my YouTube channel. Don't get me wrong. I really do. Everyone there is amazing. I love them. YouTube is amazing. Go check that place out. I mean, if it's streaming. If you're watching me on YouTube, then congratulations. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But here's the thing: I like streaming on Twitch. I love the whole gimmick where I can build stuff live on stream, and then hey, look at that! Now we have people who are from Twitch watching on YouTube, and people on YouTube watching on Twitch. Like, here's the thing: YouTube and Twitch are just one and the same when it comes to the same gimmick, because you can't just have one platform and just ignore the other. I want to make both platforms viably workable. Because at the end of the day, I want people to know that these platforms do exist. Like, I love the thought of people from my YouTube channel hopping on a Twitch, seeing everything I'm working on. Because this is where I mostly build. If you're wondering where I mostly build my stuff on the server and where all this time goes, this is where all my build time goes. A lot of it goes straight from here. That's not me lying. That's me telling the truth. Like, I want to build strong communities to where I can work on projects like this. Because I love the whole cool concept of, oh, that was not what I want to break. Like, I want to build like an entire community where it's like everyone can enjoy whatever medium they want. There is no limitations. Like, holy shit, I just want to have fun on YouTube and do the funnies. On YouTube, I do the funnies, and I do the first and second. I do the funnies on YouTube, slash Roll's hand, and then now I need to remove any snow. And the idea for this is I want to build a cool looking theme park, slash Roll's hand, and then you do slash fill 100. And that should... Oh, there's a single block of snow there. And this is like the idea I had. I want to build the future land right here. Plan 1 for future land. I'm going to expand future land to here and then have a single solid wall that goes from... From this, yeah, it's like this block, I think, right? To this. First, second, slash wall's hand. And then this can lead up to the beginning of where I want to start with the concept. So like here... And the gimmick is I'm going to design Futureland to have this theme of apocalypse, but the movie version of apocalypse, not like the you get what I'm saying. I just want to make a cool little area. So for the first half of this, I want to make the main entrance area. So like when you walk in, you have the ice. You have the wall here, and the idea is when you walk in, it feels like you're in a terminal. So this is like the concept I have. Before anything else, I want to design the where a majority of like this would be a ride. This would be a ride area. Like this itself here would be a ride zone. So this... And then we do this. This is going to be the blueprint for my stairs. and then you would go down, and this would be a roller coaster of some kind. If I remember, what was the song from Kirby and Fire Island? Wandora? One sec, let me look for it. Let me look up on YouTube. Kirby and Forgotten Land run. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Wandora Dream Palace.
Alongside these technologies known to us, they countered with technological advancements that are still beyond our wildest dreams, being near impossible for us to replicate. For example, they developed something called automatic language detection, which allowed audio to be played and be heard in the native language of whoever listened to it. Even if multiple different language-speaking people simultaneously heard the audio, they would individually understand it in their own main language.
Alright, I actually watched that video later. I want to watch it. Wandora Dream Paradise. Welcome to Wandora. Welcome to Wandora. I swear, I just love this theme. Bam, 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 bam. Love this theme, okay? It is such a fun theme. It is such a fun That's like one of the best themes in Kirby the Forgotten Land. You cannot tell me that's not one of the best themes in the game. The idea for this is I want to design like certain bits of the park to kind of fit in with this theme. Also, I need to remove this entire chunk. Since this is where the ride's gonna be, I need to now go all the way to this wall, go all the way down here. And then go to here. / replace air. Yep, there we go. Perfect. That's actually what I wanted. But I also need to then raise it by 2 again because I just needed to clear that entire corner of the mountain. The extra damage was not needed. I just needed to do it like this. There, and in there, and then we do / Wall's hand. And then this will just be like the simple like gift shop area. This is just to kind of then bend around. Because my plan is I want to bend this build to go around here. So then we just... Because I'm going to work on this theming. Because I love sci-fi theming. So we're just going to work on / Wall's hand. This, and then this, and then / Wall's hand. Yeah, like that. There's going to be a lot of terraforming for this build, by the way. Since it's going to go around here. This build, by the way, is going to be one of the bigger parts of the park, so it's going to have a lot more of a theming to it than the other parts of it. There we go. The plan is there are going to be 2 rides, which will be one will be here, the other will be over there, but I want to make this entire area feel unique with its own design plans. There is no blueprints yet. We have no like land map out yet. I'm just going to go with what I feel like is on my mind. Wall's hand. I'm going to then put 1 block here, 1 block there, and then we do / Wall's hand there. My plan is to actually just like wall off this bit for now because I don't really have a plan for what this will be, but I want to make this either an indoor coaster or an outdoor coaster. So, yeah. I wish there was a way to make walls that weren't manually angled. This is what takes so long when it comes to this kind of stuff. I really hate doing the manual building. But here's the plan. I want to build out, before we build out how the walls are going to look, I want to build out the floor plan. Because I don't want it to be old grass. I want there to be like concrete and a concrete jungle feeling. That's kind of where I'm going with this. Is my plan gonna work? Probably not. Do I care? No. I'm just kind of going off a whim and hoping it works. My plan next is I'm just gonna make the wall go from. We're just gonna go straight in this line. Find out where this ends up at that wall over there, right? And then make it like a two-part bit. That's the second part. This would be the first part. Let's hope it's right. 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, it is. Thank God. You know what we're doing? We're just gonna go. So we're gonna get pickaxe for this. Pickaxe slash super pickaxe. Area 5. And then we're just gonna go. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, I kind of like that. Don't know, I'm not gonna lie. And then this will be for the, I guess, the first part of it. But that's not it. No. This is only the beginning. This will be a ride. So this is gonna be a ride. But here's the cool part. When walking around here, you'll notice that there's different staircases you can go down. There we go. So each area is gonna have its own. So I'm thinking before we plan out the theme, I want to design where the land will go beforehand. Also, the walls are gonna be really janky, so we're just gonna have to. Okay, what? What the frick happened? What? Okay, fine. Fine. POS2. Great. Perfect. Perfect. That's what I want. That's actually what I want. Since I need to then also do the same for the other walls, this is just gonna be one and then two, and this is gonna be a big one. This is gonna be a big fill block. The plan is I want to make separate areas that will lead to more. Whatever, it's fine. With this, I will then add in an additional wall that would go here. That will only add to the effect I want to give off. Actually, let's listen to that video I said I was gonna listen to later. Let's just listen to it now. That's not what I want to listen to. The defunct land
Main
video.
language. Cities, phones, and the internet were common use, albeit not as developed as ours today. Compared to human history, this world would have been in the earlier stages of the digital age. And if it took them as long as us to get there, they were around their equivalent to our late 80s and early 90s. Noted by how the common work computers in this planet are similar to the Macintosh 2 computers in our world.
Ooh.
Alongside these technologies known to us, they counted with technological advancements that are still beyond our wildest dreams, being near impossible for us to replicate. For example, they developed something called automatic language detection, which allowed audio to be played and be heard in the native language of whoever listened to it. Even if multiple different language-speaking people simultaneously heard the audio, they would individually understand it in their own main language. While impressive, this wasn't the greatest technology they had developed. That title was reserved for something they called planetary warp technology, which allowed them to open magical rifts between time and space to travel throughout planets in a matter of seconds. The people of this world were thriving, and this was all thanks to a catastrophic event that happened 30 years prior.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carl Phillips again, out at the Wilmot Farm. I guess that's it. Yes, I guess that's the thing directly in front of me. Wait a minute, something's happening. Some shape is rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against a mirror. It strikes him head on. Lord, they're turning into flames. Oh, the whole field's caught up by the woods, the bars, the gas tanks of the automobiles spreading everywhere. Coming this way now, about 20 yards to my right.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Grover's Mill.
One day, an alien popularly nicknamed the Ultimate Life Form, codenamed Specimen ID F-86, and who called itself Vecto Ilthuris, found their way
Shadow
upon
the
this planet
Hedgehog.
and began their invasion, causing a campaign of destruction throughout the land. Fortunately for this humanity, the then going bankrupt corporation, Lytron Works Company, who invested in research and development within electrical, biological, astronomical, and other fields, fought and captured this alien invader, bringing an end to its destruction. Upon their capture, the company contained the specimen IDF-86 on Lab Discovera, a laboratory set on top of a volcano, subjecting them to countless experimentations, uncovering the key to many technological advancements, including their incredible planetary warp technology. With these technologies, Lytron Works Company expanded across the land, becoming the sole provider for electrical energy across the planet. Alongside them, two companies partnered with them and rose to popularity, one of which being Holine Corporation, who worked on industrial and civil engineering, also running a sub-company focused on the development and construction of vehicles, like automobiles for example. The other big company being Alival Holdings, who worked on goods and recreation, like their multiple Alival malls and their multiple tropical beach resorts around the continents. These three companies built roadways, skyscrapers, power plants, and nearly everything the civilization used and needed to survive. All ran with the incredible resources Specimen ID F-86 provided. During this time, the writer under the pen name Wandaria began to write children's books. The most popular of these stories all had two egg-shaped dogs who go on many adventures in space together, their names being Wandog and Wandy, both inspired by the writer's pets. No remnants of these books can be found nowadays, but at the time, these two dogs became popularly known worldwide icons. With the rising popularity of Wandaria's books, the three companies, Holine Corp, Alival Holdings, and Lytron Works Company, founded and co-owned the construction and running of a theme park based off Wandaria's many children's books, naming the park after the writer of those books, Wandaria. This park was constructed on a lot of land placed in between the town, Winterhorns, and the beach, Everbay Coast. This conveniently placing the park next to a town, a tropical resort, and the city. Wandaria's most popular characters were Wandog and Wandy. Therefore, theming the park around their stories and having the two puppies be the park's mascots was an easy and wise decision. The park's design had a mixture of a both traditional carnival aesthetic and a cutesy, now retrofuturistic sci-fi theme, to tie in with Wandog and Wandy's stories. This is reflected most notably by the use of tents, grassy gardens, and duck ponds all over the park, mixed with a couple of orb-shaped and spaceship-shaped buildings alongside planetary-themed floor tiling. Upon entering the park, you are greeted by a huge static statue of Wandog and Wandy, sitting atop a couple of planets alongside a rocket ship. Under them, the park's name can be seen, written on the planet's local characters. This statue was the perfect spot for guests to take pictures and later on would highlight the park's two main attractions, the beautiful Wandaria Ferris wheel and the spaceship Wandaria, the park's main and only roller coaster. Behind the statue, a cutout standee reading "Wish You Were Here" was later placed for guest pictures to be taken, featuring two characters, a spaceman and what seems to be an alien. It is unclear whether these characters originate from any of Wandaria's books. The interior of the park is built inside a huge moat that surrounds it on its entirety. Only the entrance of the park is placed outside. To get to the rest of the park, guests must cross a large bridge connecting the entrance to the rest of the park. After crossing the bridge, guests have free access to the entirety of the park, first being greeted by merchandise stores and a collection of aerial carousels being themed after closed-up spaceships, rocket ships, and flying saucers. The close-up rocket ship rides spun for 12 revolutions per minute, or 12 RPM, and were designed to spin in a parallel manner without any rider control. The flying saucer rides spun for a slower 9 RPM and worked like a generic jump and smile ride. The rocket ship ride was the slowest, spinning for 6 RPM. The rider could control the height of the ship with a handle on each ship. Another carnival ride on this park is a high spinning swing ride, rotating at 9 RPM, decorated with a rocket ship on its base. And of course, no carnival will be complete without a traditional grounded carousel, this one also with generic space theming, having the seats be themed after shooting stars and planets. Wandaria additionally had another carnival ride, this one being a 110 feet tall drop tower, also with a generic space theming. The park as a whole counted with approximately 4 of each ride scattered throughout the park, usually grouped together, with some exceptions. With the first expansion also came newer rides, Their iconic Wonderia Ferris wheel, a beautiful set piece and ride seen throughout almost all of the park, was added during this expansion, alongside their most popular ride, the Spaceship Wonderia, a roller coaster that traveled throughout most of the land. Alongside these two rides, there were two more additions, one being a series of boats that roamed around the moat surrounding the park and throughout water canals inside the park itself. The other being the Big Top Circus, honing into that nostalgic carnival feel, featuring clowns, acrobats, and magicians, alongside a female leopard named Carol, who could also do all the acts mentioned. Other than these simpler rides, the park additionally hosted something they like to call the Wonderia Dream Parade, where they ran parade cars throughout the park during both day and nighttime, with the nighttime version of the parade having the entire park decorated with bright, colorful, and playful neon lights. For the most part, the park has stayed the same ever since. Throughout the years, Wonderia got two new smaller expansions, each adding a new, bigger attraction, the first of which being the House of Horrors, a giant haunted walkthrough attraction, not based on supernatural horrors, but the horrors of the vastness of space. The attraction, possibly based off one or multiple of the Juan Lagang Wandi series of books, had the guests walk through a dark, fluorescent neon maze and make it all the way to the exit of the locale. The main thrill of the attraction would come from the popping alien cutouts who would jump scare guests once they walk close enough. Other than that, the attraction will contain fake pathways and exits, and many puzzles waiting to be solved. An indoor segment to the Spaceship Wonderia roller coaster, the park's most popular ride, was added to promote this new attraction and infuse guests to visit it as well. With the second smaller and final expansion came one more new attraction. Around this time, Hallline, one of the founding companies, had released a brand new car under the vehicle company, Hallline Custom Auto. To promote this brand new car, they began construction of a new attraction on Wonderia next to the Ferris wheel, which they called Circuit Speedway. In this attraction, guests would have raced one of Hallline's brand new cars, custom painted to look like a race car, throughout a series of obstacle courses within a time limit. If the guests reached the end of the obstacle course at certain times, they would get different prizes, ranging from discounts and free plush toys, to free park ticket and even a chance to win a free brand new car. The attraction will have 3 tracks built for it, a beginner course, an intermediate course, and an advanced course. Due to some circumstances that will be later discussed, the attraction was never finished, and only the beginner course was completed, with the advanced track being almost complete and the intermediate course had barely commenced construction. With Wonderia's immensely popular intellectual property and family-friendly appeal, Hallline Corporation's flawless construction and work materials, Arrival Holdings' experience and knowledge with recreational goods and foods, and Lightron Works Company's many technologies and solar-powered energy, which ran the entire place, the Wonderia theme park was successfully open and ran with absolutely no issues or problems currently known to us. What is known is that the park was a massive commercial success. Through this entire world, nothing like this had ever been seen or made before. Wonderia was the first and only theme park throughout this entire planet. Therefore, the park gained immense amounts of popularity and grew to be known worldwide. The Wonderia park did not expand to other continents, but commercials and advertisements for the park ran throughout different parts of the world, mostly on locales owned by the founding companies like the multiple Arrival malls. Suddenly, in what's believed to have been their year of 1992, an accident occurred that changed the fate of the world forever. One day, while being experimented on atop Lab Discovera, a warp experiment incident occurred with specimen IDF-86. A new life form, then nicknamed IDF-87, separated out of the main specimen. The small new chinchilla-like creature managed to escape the facility and was never recovered. In the time since, specimen IDF-86 showed no signs of activity and could not maintain its form, turning into a slime-like creature. To maintain some sort of a form, it was placed into a state of permanent stasis, trapped inside a custom-made Eternal Capsule, a chamber created to keep specimen IDF-86 stable and continue experimenting on it. The specimen was kept in that state for an unknown amount of time. Unfortunately, as the specimen was incomplete, no new discoveries were made from it. Specimen IDF-86 became useless, and was kept on Lab Discovera with the hopes that one day it will be whole again. The civilization had set their dependency on the power specimen IDF-86 had granted them. However, now without that power, it became hard to keep living on this world. So after a couple of years of working with the last remains of its powers, the civilization of this world left their planet behind to ascend to a land of dreams, running into a new world. Using the planetary warp technology, they left their home planet behind and never returned, leaving specimen ID F-86, the wildlife, and their entire world behind. This including the abandonment of the theme park, Wonderia. Wonderia's remains are now inhabited by the wildlife of the planet, who reclaimed the land. Thanks to Electronworks company's solar-powered energy, the park still runs smoothly on its own to this day, long after it was abandoned by civilization and forgotten by time.
How the hell does a video game have a better, more sustainable life cycle than living in real life? What the hell? Back to music. No more depressing shit. Okay, so what do we learn, everybody? That Kirby's lore is dark, and people of this world don't give a shit what happens. I think we just connect to this world here. Anything else get filled up? Just there. I think he's on his. Wait, he's on his own Discord server, right? Is he? I have no idea. Place Stone Brooks. That works. Nope. It needs to be further. The design for this build is I want to make this look and feel. Since the wall, I think the wall to sleep is not even. Alright, this, and then this. We gotta turn this into also white. I think this is called polished. Slash replace polished. And to say, there we go. I think that works just for like the theming, because I have an idea of where the two rides will go. But my plan is I want to design the plan is simple. We're going to design each building to have this theming. So this, a lot of these are just going to be like shops and places. But I do want to build a restaurant here. I'm using a full island, by the way. Don't worry about that. I'm going to use a full island for this. Kirby has some crazy lore. Warp technology in the 90s? Jesus Christ. Alright, so I actually need Night City under construction. That will be the next part of the park. But if we go across the valley, we will then have so the plan is I want to design this area to have a path that goes around this path. This is the whole. I want to listen to that video again. That lore was crazy. That lore was crazy, bro. That was some crazy ass lore.
Main language. While impressive for this humanity, the then going bankrupt corporation, Lytron Works Company, who invested in research and development within electrical, biological, astronomical, warp technology. With these technologies, Lytron Works Company expanded across the land, becoming the sole provider for electrical energy across the planet.
This is a lofty mech. Here's another. Here's another. Here's another. I finally did what so many people asked me to do. I created an in-depth tutorial on how to build the lofty mech, and I've spent a lot of time trying to make it as comprehensive as possible. To make this tutorial, I made a new mech from scratch while recording every single piece on a sheet of paper. Then I digitized it into a step-by-step template using Adobe Illustrator. Now this mech is actually a little different from the original. I've completely redesigned the legs to be more sturdy. I redesigned the pipe cleaner fingers to have Lego ball and socket fingers for more consistent animation, and I redesigned the back lasers for a variety of reasons. So yeah, this tutorial was a huge pain to make, but it seems to be paying off because so many of you have already built your own mech using the tutorial, and that's just so cool.
Alright. Actually, listen to this again.
Main language. While impressive, this wasn't the greatest technology they had developed. That title was reserved for something they called planetary warp technology, which allowed them to open magical rifts between time and space to travel throughout planets in a matter of seconds. The people of this world were thriving, and this was all thanks to a catastrophic event that happened 30 years prior.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carl Phillips again, out at the Wilmus Farm. I guess that's it. Yes, I guess that's the thing directly in front of me. Wait a minute, something's happening. Some shape is rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against a mirror. It strikes him head on. Lord, they're turning into flames. Now the whole field's caught up by the woods, the bars, the gas tanks of the automobiles spreading everywhere. It's coming this way now. About 20 yards to my right.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Grover's Mill.
One day, an alien popularly nicknamed the Ultimate Life Form, codenamed
Shadow the
Specimen
Hedgehog.
IDF-86, and who called itself Fecto Elphalus, found their way upon this planet and began their invasion, causing a campaign of destruction throughout the land. Fortunately for this humanity, the then going bankrupt corporation, Lytron Works Company, who invested in research and development within electrical, biological, astronomical, and other fields, fought and captured this alien invader, bringing an end to its destruction. Upon their capture, the company contained the specimen IDF-86 on Lab Discoverer, a laboratory set on top of a volcano, subjecting them to countless experimentations, uncovering the key to many technological advancements, including their incredible planetary warp technology. With these technologies, Lytron Works Company expanded across the land, becoming the sole provider for electrical energy across the planet. Alongside them, two companies partnered with them and rose to popularity, one of which being Holine Corporation, who worked on industrial and civil engineering, also running a sub-company focused on the development and construction of vehicles, like automobiles for example. The other big company being Arrival Holdings, who worked on goods and recreation, like their multiple arrival malls and their multiple tropical beach resorts around the continents. These three companies built roadways, skyscrapers, power plants, and nearly everything the civilization used and needed to survive. All ran with the incredible resources Specimen ID F-86 provided. During this time, the writer under the pen name Wandaria began to write children's books. The most popular of these stories all had two egg-shaped dogs who go on many adventures in space together, their names being Wandog and Wandy, both inspired by the writer's pets. No remnants of these books can be found nowadays, but at the time, these two dogs became popularly known.
What? That's a thing? Okay, whoa, hold on a fucking minute.
Specimen ID F-86 provided.
Ah.
During this time, the writer under the pen name Wandaria began to write children's books. The most popular of these stories all had two egg-shaped dogs who go on many adventures in space together, their names being Wandog and Wandy, both inspired by the writer's pets. No remnants of these books can be found nowadays, but at the time, these two dogs became popularly known worldwide icons. With the rising popularity of Wandaria's books, the three companies, Holland Corp, iLevel Holdings, and Lightron Works Company, founded and co-owned the construction and running of a theme park based off Wandaria's many children's books, naming the park after the writer of those books, Wandaria. This park was constructed on a lot of land placed in between the town, Winterhorns, and the beach, Everbay Coast. This conveniently placing the park next to a town, a tropical resort, and the city. Wandaria's most popular characters were Wandog and Wandy. Therefore, theming the park around their stories and having the two puppies be the park's mascots was an easy and wise decision. The park's design had a mixture of a both traditional carnival aesthetic and a cutesy, now retrofuturistic sci-fi theme to tie in with Wandog and Wandy's stories. This is reflected most notably by the use of tents, grassy gardens, and duck ponds all over the park, mixed with a couple of orb-shaped and spaceship-shaped buildings alongside planetary-themed floor tiling. Upon entering the park, you are greeted by a huge static statue of Wandog and Wandy, sitting atop a couple of planets alongside a rocket ship. Under them, the park's name can be seen, written on the planet's local characters. This statue was the perfect spot for guests to take pictures and later on would highlight the park's two main attractions, the beautiful Wandaria Ferris wheel and the spaceship Wandaria, the park's main and only roller coaster. Behind the statue, a cutout standee reading "Wish You Were Here" was later placed for guest pictures to be taken, featuring two characters, a spaceman and what seems to be an alien. It is unclear whether these characters originate from any of Wandaria's books. The interior of the park is built inside a huge moat that surrounds it on its entirety. Only the entrance of the park is placed outside. To get to the rest of the park, guests must cross a large bridge connecting the entrance to the rest of the park. After crossing the bridge, guests have free access to the entirety of the park, first being greeted by merchandise stores and a collection of aerial carousels being themed after closed-up spaceships, rocket ships, and flying saucers. The close-up rocket ship rides spun for 12 revolutions per minute, or 12 RPM, and were designed to spin in a parallel manner without any rider control. The flying saucer rides spun for a slower 9 RPM and worked like a generic jump and smile ride. The rocket ship ride was the slowest, spinning for 6 RPM. The rider could control the height of the ship with a handle on each ship. Another carnival ride on this park is a high spinning swing ride, rotating at 9 RPM, decorated with a rocket ship on its base. And of course, no carnival will be complete without a traditional grounded carousel, this one also with generic space theming, having the seats be themed after shooting stars and planets. Wandaria additionally had another carnival ride, this one being a 110 feet tall drop tower, also with a generic space theming. The park as a whole counted with approximately 4 of each ride scattered throughout the park, usually grouped together, with some exceptions. With the first expansion also came new rides. Their iconic Wandaria Ferris wheel, a beautiful set piece and ride seen throughout almost all of the park, was added during this expansion, alongside their most popular ride, the Spaceship Wandaria, a roller coaster that traveled throughout most of the land. Alongside these two rides, there were 2 more additions, one being a series of boats that roamed around the moat surrounding the park and throughout water canals inside the park itself. The other being the Big Top Circus, honing into that nostalgic carnival feel, featuring clowns, acrobats, and magicians, alongside a female leopard named Carol, who could also do all the acts mentioned. Other than these simpler rides, the park additionally hosted something they like to call the Wonderia Dream Parade, where they ran parade cars throughout the park during both day and nighttime, with the nighttime version of the parade having the entire park decorated with bright, colorful, and playful neon lights. For the most part, the park has stayed the same ever since. Throughout the years, Wonderia got 2 new smaller expansions, each adding a new, bigger attraction, the first of which being the House of Horrors, a giant haunted walkthrough attraction. Not based on supernatural horrors, but the horrors of the vastness of space. The attraction, possibly based off one or multiple of the Wanlagang Wandi series of books, had the guests walk through a dark, fluorescent neon maze and make it all the way to the exit of the locale. The main thrill of the attraction would come from the popping alien cutouts who would jump scare guests once they walk close enough. Other than that, the attraction will contain fake pathways and exits, and many puzzles waiting to be solved. An indoor segment to the Spaceship Wonderia roller coaster, the park's most popular ride, was added to promote this new attraction and infuse guests to visit it as well. With the second smaller and final expansion came one more new attraction. Around this time, Hotline, one of the founding companies, had released a brand new car under the vehicle company, Hotline Custom Auto. To promote this brand new car, they began construction of a new attraction on Wonderia next to the Ferris wheel, which they called Circuit Speedway. In this attraction, guests would have raced one of Hotline's brand new cars, custom painted to look like a race car, throughout a series of obstacle courses within a time limit. If the guests reached the end of the obstacle course at certain times, they would get different prizes, ranging from discounts and free plush toys, to free park tickets, and even a chance to win a free brand new car. The attraction will have 3 tracks built for it, a beginner course, an intermediate course, and an advanced course. Due to some circumstances that will be later discussed, the attraction was never finished, and only the beginner course was completed, with the advanced track being almost complete and the intermediate course had barely commenced construction. With Wonderia's immensely popular intellectual property and family-friendly appeal, Hotline Corporation's flawless construction and work materials, Arrival Holdings' experience and knowledge with recreational goods and foods, and Lightron Works Company's many technologies and solar-powered energy, which ran the entire place, the Wonderia theme park was successfully open and ran with absolutely no issues or problems currently known to us. What is known is that the park was a massive commercial success. Through this entire world, nothing like this had ever been seen or made before. Wonderia was the first and only theme park throughout this entire planet. Therefore, the park gained immense amounts of popularity and grew to be known worldwide. The Wonderia park did not expand to other continents, but commercials and advertisements for the park ran throughout different parts of the world, mostly on locales owned by the founding companies like the multiple Arrival malls. Suddenly, in what's believed to have been their year of 1992, an accident occurred that changed the fate of the world forever. One day, while being experimented on atop Lab Discovera, a warp experiment incident occurred with specimen IDF-86. A new life form, then nicknamed IDF-87, separated out of the main specimen. The small new chinchilla-like creature managed to escape the facility and was never recovered. In the time since, specimen IDF-86 showed no signs of activity and could not maintain its form, turning into a slime-like creature. To maintain some sort of a form, it was placed into a state of permanent stasis, trapped inside a custom-made Eternal Capsule, a chamber created to keep specimen IDF-86 stable and continue experimenting on it. The specimen was kept in that state for an unknown amount of time. Unfortunately, as the specimen was incomplete, no new discoveries were made from it. Specimen IDF-86 became useless, and was kept on Lab Discovera with the hopes that one day it will be whole again. The civilization had set their dependency on the power of Specimen IDF-86
And that's
had granted.
why you don't put
However,
independence
now
in
without that
alien
power,
life
it
forms,
became
you
hard to
idiots.
keep living on this world. So after a couple of years of working with the last remains of its powers, the civilization of this world left their planet behind to ascend to a land of dreams, running into a new world. Using the planetary warp technology, they left their home planet behind and never returned, leaving Specimen IDF-86, the wildlife, and their entire world behind. This including the abandonment of the theme park, Wonderia. Wonderia's remains are now inhabited by the wildlife of the planet, who reclaimed the land. Thanks to Lightron Works Company's solar-powered energy, the park still runs smoothly on its own to this day, long after it was abandoned by civilization and forgotten by time.
I think my respawn is... Fuck. It is all the way here. Oh my god, it's loading new chunks. It's causing me lag. Jesus Christ. How do you get them? How do you get them to work? I kind of like... I'm gonna make this restaurant design. Since I have my lanterns, I can just... Oh, I just thought of it better. I can redo my... Let me redo my lantern design specifically for Futureland. So let me do hand 100. Perfect. And then that is the restaurant. I'll work on the I'll actually work on this corner bit. My plan is I want to have a lamp design that I can... Wait. Famous actually gave me an idea with this. Hold on. What I'm thinking is something like this, and then rather I need sea lanterns. Or frog light. No, see, no, see, no, sea lanterns. That works perfectly fine. But I actually need a new block type so it doesn't just stick out. I think diorite can work for like this design. No, that's too much. I need something that can fit on the side. Trap doors, I think. Trapdoor. What trapdoor would work? I legitimately don't want to risk my server crashing again. I really don't. I am legitimately worried about my server legitimately crashing again. This won't look good. Should I just put... No, but there's no like corner ones. It's fine. It works. It works. It gets the job done. Alright. So here is where I'm going to start. And now I just need a... slash copy. And then this is actually the lamp I actually like the design of. So, I need to design it not here, but around... What? Okay, what the hell? What happened? Okay. Minecraft is doing some shenanigans. What the... This. Slash copy. So we have now this. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of looks really good though. I'm genuinely impressed how much work gets done within like the first hour. This is how much work goes into legitimately making this construct area. 'Cause just to build this area alone, it's not easy. I legitimately am trying to design time set night. Just to design, I need to figure out where the light sources are. Just so that I can figure out... Ooh, I liked it. Alright. I need to actually figure out where the rest of these will go, because a lot of these buildings here are going to be shops. Nice. And so if I then go here, this should then paste here. I actually then need to fill in the roofs of these buildings. So, there. And in these two buildings, I want to make... And then I need iron. Here's what I need to do. We need to build the... this gotta look weird, but I don't care because I've done this kind of shit before. I have done this before. Oh, this one does not have enough blocks on the edge. So if I were to then put one block in the corner. Yeah! Works. With Futura Land on its way, it's slowly forming into a piece of shit land that we have no idea what we're doing. Futura Land is weird. Summertime, baby. It's almost summer, which means the 3rd is when we're getting the next Fortnite. Where the fuck is good? We're getting the next big update for Fortnite. Checked it out. Ma'am. Got the laser on. Got the laser beaming. Beam, beam, boom, beam, beam, boozle, beam, basil. Futura Land is gonna be weird because I didn't. Fuck. I got those. Oh no! So the plan is I need to paste. I think I pasted this, right? Ooh, that actually fits perfect. This gonna, you know what? No, that's fine. It works. That legitimately looks cool. Like, I think this is a decent start. And if we get the windows opened like this, we can have a few builds. The main gimmick is I'm building this for the fun of it. I don't really have any lore purposes behind it other than funny theme park. The gimmick behind each building is I want to make these feel unique in their own ways. Check the DMs. He said check DMs. The fuck? The plan, I'm going to start working. Ooh, I'm starting to fall in love with this build already. My plan for this right here, it is gonna be based on slash super pickaxe Gens 2, and then I want to design the first bit of this build is that they're buildings. So this slash walls hand. This is gonna be the more simple coaster idea I had for here. If you don't know, I'm referencing it based off of the Great Goofy's what was it? In Disney World, there's the fucking Goofy ride that takes you through like a barn and you smash through shit because it's like part of some like Goofy shit, something. with this middle building here, I only want to make a hole through the middle bit, not the with this, I will then use the down bit here to kind of like just add into this like atmospheric build. So this is gonna be where the line begins, but my plan is I want it to be like the wall here kind of connects. So basically, the wall will be like right here. People shake over everything. Baby bitch. I think I just need one more Pokemon Go catch. Yeah, I might go to the mall in a bit just to kind of get out of the house. I think that's good enough for the ride. Button, and then I need the rails again because I'm making a roller coaster. So this would be where the rail would start, right? There's a lot of chickens here. And then it would go. Also, I need a lever for the trowel so I can do that. So this. So like it would go all the way through here. And then it goes up, up, up. Up, 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 up. And then that will lead it down to here. I'll build the queue for this later, okay? I'm not building the queue yet. The queue is something I do not need to worry about yet. I'm excited for Fortnite's newest season. It's happening soon, baby. The Meteor season's happening soon, baby. Oh, Jesus. Fuck. I'm gonna be testing this coaster. Does this coaster work as intended? Yes, yes it does. Does it need a little bit more of a I feel like if I just put one back there, it should slow it down enough. Also, Go-Go Gadget's Death Fork. Now to design the entry queue, since it's going to be here. I'm thinking... for this, the queue would have 2 bits of line. And this is to prevent people from exiting in the entryway. So you'd enter through here, you exit through here. And my plan is I want them to exit through like a hallway. So like they would exit through and then I'm thinking there would be an entry building here. And then just like that. Yeah, that can work. And then we just create the wall to be here. What is famous? Oh, he's cooking. He's cooking. He's cooking. I'm gonna work on the queue for this now because I feel like the queue needs some importance. I want to design this queue line to look like a, one sec. Need this, light blue glass. This is my magnum opus of a roller coaster, and this is my plan. I want to design it so like when you walk in, it... I got my stomach. Shit. Alright, buddy. Okay, you're a bitch. Shut up. And then this can then act as the queue's entrance. I am surprised that, like, this theme park, like, this one massive theme park in Kirby and the Forgotten Land is just this big abandoned theme park, but because it runs on solar power instead of, like, gasoline, it just fucking works. Which is freaking incredible. I'm surprised we haven't made solar-powered theme parks yet. I wonder why. Oh, wait, they're not cost-efficient? Oh, boy, howdy. To then go through this design of an old, broken building. This is how much work is going into designing this unique, like, theme. Like, I love Roller Coaster Rally, don't get me wrong. Super fun. It was fun yesterday. But I want to finish up, like, a small amount of the park, because, I gotta be busy making videos and streaming lately. I'm gonna take a mental break from them for a while. For anyone that says, I'm gonna be a big Twitch streamer one day, keep going, buddy. Do it. I'm rooting for you, but don't be disappointed when the door doesn't happen. Not everyone's gonna be a big Twitch streamer, but maybe you will be. You just gotta believe in yourself, bud. I don't see anything spawning in Pokemon Go, so we're just gonna wait it out. Alright, so now I need to get the glowstone. The gimmick design is I'm gonna slowly add more of this sci-fi-esque feel to everything. But for now, I really just want to push a lot of the old design stuff. I don't know why I'm getting the gut butchers. Welcome to Rift Discoverer, the science capital of the world, I guess. I have no idea. I want to listen to that video one more time, just so I can understand the lore.
Kirby and Forgotten Land. And of course, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it because there's going to be people that comment it. Yes, this video has spoilers. We're talking about the entire end of the game, the entire extra ending, all the details, and even but Kirby's able to knock the mask off and free him from his brain imprisonment from whatever type of mind control that he was under. Kirby then goes to make his way to the elevator that he finds in the back of the room and go explore to see what the heck this even is. And as he's doing so, a whole army of beast packs start rushing towards King Dedede and the Waddle Dees. King Dedede makes a sacrifice for his fellow Waddle Dee and decides to square up against the beast pack, and I guess he beats them. We really don't see or hear from him again to the very end, where he's just laying in our town all calmly. But I guess he wins this battle.
Lab Discoverer!
We then make it to a factory set at the very top of the volcano, the highest peak of this forgotten land, the highest point and the end of Kirby's journey. We then get a little voiceover playing of some woman describing exactly what's going on with this world and kind of giving us the loop as to what's going on and where Kirby is actually headed to. This seems to be a tourist attraction where it allows tourists to come up into this lab and see the giant specimen that they have been able to capture. Well, what is this specimen? The only thing that we know about this specimen right now is that the name is IDF-86, which is just a weird lab name that they gave this creature, but this creature actually invaded this forgotten land a long time ago. I guess it teleported itself through dimensional rifts, which it has the capability of doing so, and appearing in this land. And this creature was able to cause havoc amongst everything. There's no clear reason why they were so angry and why it was causing havoc amongst this world, but somehow this world band together and was able to capture it, which still blows my mind how they were able to capture this thing. I mean, seriously, it was like one of the strongest things I've ever seen Kirby have to fight, and it's just weird that some people in lab coats were able to capture this thing in a jar. But they did. It also mentioned that this creature has spatial teleportation ability, which they turn into their planetary teleportation technology, which we know as the Dimensional Rift. And normally, it's not the creature itself that's able to summon these, but some type of power that they have or have obtained from the world. So this is very interesting that this creature can actually, hone this ability himself without any special equipment. After 30 years of research on this creature, a warp experiment incident occurred, which actually split the creature into two separate entities. This separated them into Fargo and Elflin. As one was still captured, Elflin was able to make his escape and traverse the world. Elflin was never able to be recovered, and in the time being, Fargo sat and sat and sat in a dormant state, still being experimented on from the people of this world. Kirby's then able to make his way to the final floor and eventually lay his eyes on the specimen known as ID-F86. But I do want to add just how amazingly the hype level from the music and the scenery of this scene is before Kirby walks into this lab. I played this ending maybe 5 times and I get chills walking down this hall every time.
Specimen
ID-F86. God, I love
Kirby then enters a lab, but then is face to face with somebody blocking this containment center. A giant lion, and not just any ordinary lion. This is Leon Gar, the leader of the Beast Pack. Leon tells Kirby that the Great One, referring to the creature behind him, is actually missing its second half to become full again, and that is his goal to bring them back together so that he can have the miraculous power. Now, what is this miraculous power that he's talking about? Well, that power once again is that rift technology that this creature is able to possess. Leon states that the people of this world once had this miraculous power and they used it to leave this world and enter a one of dreams, which is very interesting. And I have my own theories about where they actually went, and one of those theories could very well be that they went to Dreamland. It is called the Land of Dreams, and it is Dreamland, so maybe that's where they actually wished themselves to go, and they used these spatial rifts in order to get there, and left this place back, meaning that this was the original home of everybody that lives on Planet Popstar. I'll touch more on this later on another video, but Leon wants this great power, and probably wants to come visit, or at least go see where the people of this world actually went, so that way the animals of this world can go too, because they feel like they've been left behind by these people, which they kind of have. Kirby's then able to fight Leongar, the king of the beasts, which is actually no match for Kirby, especially with some of the things that he's fought in his past. But halfway through the fight, see something happen in Leongar, his eyes glowing purple and raging with some type of purple aura growing all over him, and giving him the ability to shoot projectiles out of his claws and move across the stage at faster speeds. Eventually, Kirby was able to knock him through the glass wall and all the way into the containment center, where he is eventually knocked out. Kirby is then able to save his friend Elflin from his imprisonment. But the duo did not win quite yet. With eyes possessed, Leongar wakes up and mentions how his plan is ruined, that he needed labor, and he obviously opened up a vortex to Dreamland in order to bring all the Waddle Dees over in order to run this facility. He needed them and able to power himself up, and he was able to create his own labor force because of it. Forgo awakens from his long slumber and finally breaks out of his containment center and makes his way towards Kirby and Elflin in this weird sludge form. Consumes the body of Leongar and the rest of the Beast Pack that enter the room and creates this crazy abomination. Kirby then flees the room with Elflin and eventually comes face to face with this crazy invasive species being Fecto Forgo. Kirby has to run down this hall and dodge all the attacks with the head of Leon kind of attacking as well, which is just super creepy. You can even see his paw kind of scrape against the wall as it's pushing itself down the hall with all these possessed Beast Pack enemies as well. It's just a very creepy sight for a Kirby game. After winning the fight, Kirby decides to stop at the end of the hall, but it's not too long where he's found a dead end. And Forgo tries to grab Kirby, but eventually grabbing Elflin. And Elflin is now consumed and completely making this specimen whole again. And it flies up to the very top of the roof where the final battle will take place. Kirby makes his way up and sees the transformation with his own eyes. Finally, the perfect ultimate life form is here. Fecto Elfilis. This is the very same life form that invaded this world so long ago, and it still, once again, blows my mind that they were able to capture this thing. It can fly, it can teleport, it has a magical staff where it can shoot beams out of it, and it can just cause some brutal damage. So the civilization that used to live here probably had some amazing technology before even having the technology of Elfilis. Not too long into the battle, Kirby's able to make quick work of Fecto Elfilis, which causes him to go on a tyrant. And he changes the whole atmosphere of the battle stage, even his own colors, and begins to get a lot stronger. He's able to open up a dimensional rift and throw in meteorites from space at Kirby, even giant meteors that have tons of debris clumped together. Once again, how in the world were these people able to capture this guy? Kirby then weakens Fecto Elfilis enough to the point to be able to rip Elfilin away from its body, separating it once again. But Fecto Elfilis is still able to maintain its current body form for some reason, probably still having leftover energy. You can see it literally dripping as it's starting to die, but in one final last resort, Fecto Elfilis decides to open up another dimensional rift, which this time decides to send in not a meteorite, not a meteor, but Planet Popstar itself. Now it's very weird that Elfilis keeps picking this place. For instance, he actually chose this as the home world to bring his army of Waddle Dees from, and now he's choosing it to be the world that he clashes with this one, which really makes me believe that this is the world that all of those people went to from this land. And it would make sense that he would keep pulling from this land as well, because he obviously would know where these people went using his own powers. So my theory is maybe this is also another kind of retaliation attack from Elfilis to get back at the people that captured him, use his power, and escape to Planet Popstar. Well, with Elfilis floating in the sky, causing this destruction to this forgotten land, what does Kirby decide to do to reach him? Turn into a big rig. Yep. Drive a big rig on floating buildings all the way up to the sky in order to ram it into Fecto Elfilis, which is just absolutely absurd and definitely a Kirby thing to do. Remember, Elfilin is separated from Fecto Elfilis, which is still weird that this creature is able to have all these amazing immaculate powers, which means as soon as the separation occurred, he probably still has his powers for a certain amount of time. And he definitely uses them, as he's still able to open up separate dimensional rifts from the one that he's causing Planet Popstar to fly through, as he's using separate ones to throw different types of debris and meteorites at Kirby, which just shows the pure strength and power of this creature. Finally, Kirby finds himself in a 1v1 battle against Fecto Elfilis and, of course, Kirby's Big Rig Mouth Mode, but Kirby isn't successful until Elfilin steps up and decides to power charge Kirby, pushing the meteorite, breaking through it, and obviously breaking through, completely defeating Fecto Elfilis.
I'm just taking a mental break.
Kirby finds himself back on the ground in Dreamland, obviously flying through that dimensional rift that Fecto Elfilis has opened up. But the rift is still open, blowing in objects from both worlds, and they're still heading towards each other to crash and collide. But at the last second, Elfilin flies up in the air and uses a little bit of power that he has, and is able to close the rift, separating the two worlds for good. And it's kind of weird because, like, it cries and really leaves, like, a sad moment, but then literally, like, 5 seconds later, I guess it reappears and is saved and Kirby sees him. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. I guess it's really for just more type of post-game stuff, but yeah, Elfilin's still alive. And Kirby and Elfilin were able to save the day. That's pretty much it. You get a little bit of pictures of Kirby coming back, obviously, to the Waddle Dee town and making friends with King Dedede, the Beast Pack, and everybody in total, but there's still so many questions left on the board. Where did those people go? Where is the Forgotten Land in the first place? And just what happened to Leongar? Well, at the very end of the credits, we get to find out that there is a post-game where Leongar is actually taken to some type of secret seclusion by the soul of Fecto Elfilis. We always talk about how Kirby's extra game modes and its secret endings are never really canon, but this time we never quite had a secondary option for the end. Like, we never had a continuation of the story. It's always been under some type of specific second game mode. So in this next video, I'll be talking about if this is even canon and what this means for the story as well, as it has some pretty huge implications. So if you want to see part 2 of the Kirby and the Forgotten Lands ending explained with the Forgo Island of Dreams, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things actually panned out with the story mode. But today we're taking it even further and talking about the post game, as technically that's canon, and something else that might be canon for the first time ever in this game is the Colosseum actually being the arena. And I'll talk about why that could be canon and all the information all put together for the end of the game. And if you haven't seen my last video talking about the actual ending, if you haven't seen my last video explaining the normal ending for the story mode, here's a card right above that you can click on, and I will briefly sum it up real quick before we start the vid. Before we get started, I want to thank you guys so much, because you guys have been so engaged in Kirby content. It's been so much fun to make. You guys have been leaving so many comments, so many likes, and so many subscriptions in the last couple of weeks. I cannot thank you guys enough. And of course, there is a lot more to come, so make sure you leave a like if you haven't yet, and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and turn on notifications so you can be notified exactly when I post. Thank you guys so much, and let's jump on to the video. So for a quick summary of the ending, Kirby finally made his way to the very end of the Forgotten Land, reaching Lab Discovera, the lab that was able to capture the alien specimen known as Fecto-Elfilis. It then separated into two, leaving Elfilin to fly away, but Forgo needed his second part in order to be whole again. With a whole bunch of crazy things and different transformations, he's finally able to get Elfilin one more time and become whole and fight Kirby at the top of Lab Discovera. After a long battle and eventually running it over with a semi, Kirby was able to completely defeat Fecto-Elfilis. Well, that's what he thought. After the credits roll, we get a scene of Leon sitting in a bubble, almost like he's asleep, in that same lab, and the lab looks like it's in a hazardous state. Kirby and Elfilin make their way back to Waddle Dee Village and finds Clawline, and she senses that Leon is somewhere in trouble within the Star Dimensional Rift, and Kirby goes to investigate until he's sucked into the whole thing. Kirby and Elfilin then find themselves in the Isolated Isles, which is Forgo Dreams. Forgo Dreams is an area corrupted all from the memories and dreams of Forgo itself. And these are all the memories from the past locations on the Forgotten Land. So looking at our collection of minifigures, we know that after the fight with Kirby, IDF-86's body was destroyed, but their powerful mind survived. They fled to the Isolated Isles of their own dreams and brought Leongar with them. To prepare for their new vessel, they cast out Leongar's soul, shattering and scattering it throughout the realm of Forgo Dreams. So, Leon's soul has been shattered throughout all these various past locations within the dreams of Forgo, and Kirby's job is to hurry up and collect them in order to save Leon from being taken over before it's too late. At the same time, Forgo's mind is so powerful he was able to build up an army of illusory beasts and Kirby's past foes as the Beast Gang, but now in phantom versions, which are just kind of dreams and memories of the original cold, lifeless husk with its only intentions on killing Kirby. Kirby is then finally able to find his way back to Lab Discovera, but this time in the creepy dreams and memories from Forgo.
And here we are.
Kirby and Elfilin then make it to Leon and give him the rest of the pieces of his soul in order to revive him. And he's back to normal and even dances with the duo, happy to be back alive and saved by Kirby. Unfortunately, with him being back alive, it still means it's another host for Forgo to take over, as his mind is still alive and able to completely consume and possess the beast, and fuses himself with him to create Forgo Leon. For the most part, this fight starts off as pretty much the same way you fought him the first time. And this is another just hatched attempt at Forgo trying to take over and trying to kill Kirby with something similar that he's already done. But he realizes very quickly that this isn't going to be enough and that he has to step it up a bit. He then decides to autopilot and turn Leon into one of his illusory beasts. So that way Leon is fighting on his own, giving Forgo time to fight for himself. With Leon being self-controlled as an illusory beast, this gives Forgo the ability to fight separate from his host, so that way he can do a 2v1 against Kirby, keeping him on his toes, fighting them separate. Kirby was then forced to tackle both of them, dodging tons of attacks and finally making his way to the end and defeating them both. Kirby is then able to launch Leon out of the control of Forgo, revealing Forgo himself, and he charges up for a massive attack and transformation until he turns into Soul Forgo. And right before the battle begins, something odd happens. A butterfly flies in through the crack of the room and slowly flies towards Forgo, until eventually it lands on its nose. Yes, the Monarch Warrior returns, Fluttering Dream Eater Morpho Knight. The butterfly came in and pretty much evaporated Forgo and used his soul essence in order to power the powerful knight once again. Now I know a lot of you might be very confused, especially if you didn't play Kirby Star Allies, and the fact that this is kind of more part of the actual story itself this time around really might confuse those that didn't go all the way to the end with the extra game modes in Kirby Star Allies. So, allow me to explain real quick. Throughout Kirby's history, we've always seen these orange butterflies fly around.
Alright, so I'm just trying to figure out finish this part, because I want to get this done, because I have no plan on actually finishing this build. That's what the fuck? Why is it? Oh, right, Famous did this and this, right. Alright. Ooh, hello, little cutie fly. Aren't you an adorable little Grimbly? Come on, get in. So the idea for this is like the queue is gonna be a lot simpler. I want to make a simple queue for this, just because I don't really know exactly where the queue will go, but in fact, I want to test this. I mean. Just to design this a little bit more, I really just want to finish up the builds because I don't really know how much more. I mean, the next part is going to be pretty much the another area to this, but for now I think this looks pretty dope. Looks like we're just going to do that because I'm lazy. Oh yeah, let's make the video I was listening to for you guys in chat.
On Kirby and his friends right before destruction reigned, and they would always disappear and go away after that, and we'd never seen anything from them again. That was until we finally seen one appear in the main story, kind of, in Kirby Star Allies. Galactic warrior known as Galactonite dropped in to fight Kirby and his friends until eventually being confronted with one of these butterflies. The butterfly landed on his lance, eventually completely evaporating him of his power and transforming himself into what we know as Morpho Knight. If you paid attention to the opening of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, you would see one of these butterflies actually flying towards and getting sucked into that dimensional rift where Kirby and all of his friends go. So that is why he's in this world in the first place. We know these butterflies cast judgment, so I guess we can look at them as like the time variance authority like they were from Loki, where if you break any type of rules in the timeline or any type of, thing that's not supposed to happen within the natural flow of time, these guys will come in and completely wipe you from existence. I would guess that's their main goal, but of course, we are going to have a whole video dedicated to Morpho Knight, so make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you're ready for that. But before we continue to the second half of this story, if you guys haven't picked up your copy of Kirby and the Forgotten Land or pre-ordered Nintendo Switch Sports, which is coming out at the end of this month, make sure you pick them up with my special links down below through Best Buy. It helps to support me a lot, and you guys get your game that way, of course. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting, and let's get back onto the story. Kirby then proceeds to have an intense battle against Morpho Knight, and Morpho Knight uses his giant blades, fire attacks, and teleportation to try his best to defeat Kirby, but once again, I still ask the question, why do they fight Kirby if their only job was to stop the menaces from destroying the timeline? That's once again a question for later, and I can't really down on all that now, but one thing that is noticed is that the essence of Forgo is still within Morpho Knight itself, as lots of its powers do call out a phantom version of Forgo to follow and chase after Kirby. But something interesting happens at the end of the battle, which makes me actually question something in the past as well. When Kirby defeats Morpho Knight, you see him slowly float up into the sky until he eventually evaporates, and at the last second you can see a glimpse of what looks to be the soul of Forgo escape up through the ceiling. It tells me that perhaps Galactonite is still alive somewhere, whether he's in a soul form or his regular form, I don't know. This one's kind of hard to tell considering the fact that technically Forgo was in his soul form, and when Galactonite was taken, he was in his regular form. So once again, that's going to take a whole video to cover that one. But anyways, the duo save the day, and they walk up to Leon and find out that he's not awaking, until Clawline and the rest of the Beast Pack come in with some leftover pieces of Leon's soul that they were able to find, and they were all able to revive him with those pieces. And of course, Kirby, Elflin, and even Clawline helped to save the day this time around, and everyone is back to normal, including the Beast Pack. And then everybody is friends, and everything can be normal and go back to normal, right? Well, no, there's still something missing. Of course, the soul of Fargo escaping from Morpho Knight, and technically this is still canon. The Arena and Kirby games have never been canon, but this one might be a little bit different. When we look at the figurines for commentator Waddle Dee, it says the Colosseum is always ready for battles with brutal beasts, but with no one prepared when a mysterious vortex opened up inside the arena, commentator Waddle Dee was so scared that he almost shut everything down, but his curiosity won in the end. What wild battles await within? It's tournament time. So it seems like this Colosseum actually might, for the first time ever, be canon. Now, the arena has never been canon because it's always added some extra stories throughout the actual game. You know, some side stories that were never really part of the game or some type of extra modes. But even the Forgotten Isles was part of the main game for Kirby. It was actually one of the first ever post games for Kirby instead of an additional mode with an additional character like with Meta Knight or King Dedede. And with this said, it seems like some type of dimensional rift opened up above the Colosseum, bringing Kirby through to all these weird distortions of past battles, but at the very end awaited something very interesting for Kirby. We see Kirby and Elflin drop in with their own cutscene dedicated to this final boss, which once again kind of just screams that this is actually canon. We see a white figure drop from the sky and open up its wings to reveal Chaos Elphalus, the new version of Elphalus. You might wonder, how is Elphalus able to retain its body without Elflin by its side? Well, once again, that's what the figurine data does for us. It gives us new information. It states a unique convergence of elements from native beast souls to ethereal butterflies gave a stubborn soul one last chance at revenge. This new creation, driven by pure chaos, was defeated by the bright light of Kirby's hope. So thanks to the butterfly's power and also the power of all the beasts that it's consumed, and even probably part of Leon's soul, it was able to have enough power to generate its body by itself without even needing Elflin. which is very interesting. This also goes to show just how powerful that ethereal butterfly really is, and able to give him all this power to reform his whole body without even having his second half of him. So Elphalus is granted one more opportunity to take over and defeat Kirby once and for all. With Elphalus having brand new powers thanks to the butterfly, and even unique ones such as giving himself a spirit form, swinging giant spears across the landscape, Elphalus is a threat to be reckoned with. Eventually, Kirby's able to knock him down again, but this time instead of ripping Elfilin from him, Kirby decides to finish this once and for all, and actually rips his soul from him. Kirby is kind of dark. But doing this, Kirby knew that he would have to fight his soul as well, because the soul is the most powerful part of the being. Consuming the body and combining all of its elements into one, Kirby is left to fight the Chaos Elphalus Soul. This soul form is a combination of everything that Elphalus has experienced while in the Forgotten Lands and all the different past experiences that he has had, and you can actually hear them come out and screech out from him at the last second. Just take a listen, it's very eerie.
And here we are.
Yes, very creepy, right? I mean, I seriously...
Oh, my jaw. My actual jaw. No! No! The game crashed! Additional memory. Eat shit. I will make sure you suffer. Oh, my fucking jaw hurts now. Stop chucking night vision at me. I legitimately need to figure this out. I want to design a indoor portion. Here's my plan. Step one, I'm gonna clear up.
Gavin, we're gonna go to Meister. You wanna go? Gav,
What?
you wanna go to Meister?
Not today. /POS2 /re / walls hand. The plan is simple. Indoor area. I don't think it's on the map properly. We're gonna go see if we actually have that bit on the map. I'm probably gonna close the server and hop off and close both streams for a bit. I have a headache forming. No, it's not down there. Item frame. Alright. Time to extend the map. Because I have an idea to add more. So I need to go... I'm going to take a picture of this first, by the way, before anything else. I'm going to use my...
You sure you don't want to come?
I'm going to come. Give me a sec.
Okay, get ready. Come on. Vamos. Everybody's gonna be in.
Alright. Chat, we're going to have to end stream soon, because So I go down to here. Then I have to go down to this direction. One. Two. Ah, fine. Alright, so server is giving me a bunch of issues. So we're gonna end stream here. Thank you all for watching. This was fun. Talk to you next time, guys. Peace. Alright, and it stops.